This is my Nintendo Switch. It's the launch edition and I've had it for almost 5 years now. I went for the blue and red Joy-Con option because I thought the grey was a bit dull, and I haven't regretted that decision until I saw the Splatoon OLED Switch. I really liked what they did with the Joy-Cons and the engraved backplate, and I really wanted one for the longest time. That was until I saw this on AliExpress, and I think they did a better job. I'm a little biased because I'm going through a light phase. White keyboard, silver headphones, didn't get the space grey or black iPhone, whatever they're calling it now. And I think I'm gonna destroy my Nintendo Switch today. I mean, tear it down and swap it, because I've been sitting on this for a while. It does also come with Joy-Cons, which I might do, but that depends on how confident I am. My only experience with opening up the Nintendo Switch prior to this was a Joy-Con joystick swap, because I had drift, as most do. So let's get into it. Okay, here we are with the top-down view. We've got our kit, switch and extra screwdrivers. However, I don't think we'll need them. This should come with everything you need out of the box. With that said, let's see what comes in the box. Padding, the back plate itself looks very nice even before it's on, I must say. Joy-Con, other Joy-Con, and the buttons. You can swap the buttons as well if you want, so everything is nice and matching. See how that goes. And then lucky last is our included screwdriver, which is red, and it looks like, yep, just pops off and you've got the other bits that you'll need stored in there. So I'm guessing that's your Y and your tri screws that Nintendo likes to use, and they'll just go in there and hopefully be all we need for the entire thing. That's everything in the box. Let's get straight into the teardown. So, getting straight into it, the first thing we'll want to do is make sure the Switch is fully powered off. Okay, perfect. Next, remove the Joy-Cons. Anything that's in the Switch needs to be taken out, so that's any games. If you have a micro SD card in there, you should take it out just in case. And now we can get into the teardown. So, first step is to remove these 4 screws all the way around. And I'll set them aside on this mat just to make sure I don't lose anything. What have I done? I had stripped my first screw of the day. You can see here, I'm continuing to try and get it out with that provided screwdriver, but it's just not working. The provided screwdriver was too small. iFixit, if you go on, they recommend that size, but a lot of the comments say use a bigger size. This is probably the one takeaway that I got from this. Use one size larger screwdriver. Otherwise, you will strip the screw and it will be a pain in the ass to get out. Okay, we're back. I did have to do some digging around in my own screw set because this one is too small, so be wary. Maybe the screwdriver that's provided won't work, but I found this one does. So we're going to continue on. Remove these 4. That is the sound of the second problem screw getting stripped. So yeah, that's 2, and the other 2 came out fairly easily. You'll see here in a moment that I was able to get it out with the larger screwdriver. But yeah, so it turns out even if you have one size up, you do need to be very gentle. I guess on an older Switch where it's, you know, been rusted a little bit, been used a little bit, they are just not built to last these screws. So yeah, after a bit more struggling, I decided we'll try and come back to it later and see if we can get them off. The next step is to take off the other screws around the sides. So let's do that now. Just got to make sure we're careful. So not much pressure, it should just come out. put it on a white background because it is extremely small. Next are these two on the bottom, similar story. Next are the side rail screws, so you want to go for the middle one. Now we got to go for the one under the kickstand. There's one just there. Now open the game cartridge strap, and it is meant to pull away. However, because of these two screws that I was not able to get out, it might be a little harder, so we'll see if we can figure something out. I did see online that someone was able to just get the shell off even with one of the screws in with enough force, so you can kind of see me trying that here. Didn't work out for me, so then I decided to go on a deep dive on the internet, find some ways to remove stripped screws. I tried elastics, gloves, wax, hot gluing the screwdriver to the actual screw. None of them worked. I think you can see one of them here, the elastic band one will be on screen. But yeah, it was just all for nothing. So then in the end, I got pretty annoyed and I gave up. And then I came back the next day with a more, let's not say reasonable, but a method that worked. It is a new day, and after not talking about what went down yesterday, we're going to move on to the next step, which is transferring over the game card slot holder and the kickstand mechanism to the new shell. So to start, we're going to take out this screw. So that'll come right off like that. Two parts, set it aside. And then there's two more screws holding this one down. And now this should just come away pretty easily like that. Set that aside. And we won't need this and we won't need this. So it can go in the bin, which I'm grateful for because I've done some damage. Now, let's finally move on to the new shell, part that I've been waiting for. Woo. So I didn't really show it earlier, but this is kind of a Splatoon edition. They've kind of copied the style, except in white, which I do like more. So we'll put that on, but the first step is to transfer over our kickstand and game card slot mechanisms. So starting with kickstand, this will go into here. Like that seemingly. And then the two screws go back in. Once you've got the metal bit in there, you're going to take the screw from earlier and pop it right in. Okay, once that's in there and it's nice and secure, you're going to pop that into there, just like you would if it pops off any other time. Now, there is the kickstand. Okay, yeah, so pops out, pops in very nicely. and that'll be amazing once it's on the actual Switch. But before we can do that, the last bit that needs to be moved over is this. Unfortunately, it doesn't come with a replacement white one, so we're going to continue using the original one. This one's fairly straightforward. Put that on there, put the black bit on as it was before, and then screw it in with the screw. Now with that all attached and working, the next step is to put it back onto the original Switch. So we're just gonna snap it back on. One thing to note, not all kits come with the mesh over the grill, so for some of them you'll have to transfer that from the original shell, but this one came with it, so we'll just use it, line it up, pop it on. Should just snap on, some clips all the way around. Alright, now it's just a matter of getting these screws back into where they originally went. Because of the nature of how these two were removed, I'm going to leave them. However, all of the others should go back in just fine. You gotta be extremely gentle with these. Alright, and with that, the backplate is done. I really like how it looks. It does feel softer than the original, maybe a bit more comfy actually, a bit more ergonomic. The kickstand works, it's a little tougher to get out, but hopefully it lasts longer. That is a good thing to see. And that's it for the back plate. Well, it took a little longer than expected, but we made it. This is my Splatoon Edition Nintendo Switch non-OLED, and I think it turned out pretty sweet. Other than the issues we encountered along the way, it was pretty straightforward. Just make sure you use one size bigger screw than the one iFixit recommends. Everyone in the comments on that tutorial are also recommending that. So if you do that and you don't strip your screws, then you should be fine. I think I'll leave the Joy-Cons for another time. I think I've suffered enough. So yeah, that's all. Bye.